When Lincoln returned home, his mother was still gone. Her Nissan Maxima was not in the driveway. He slipped a cassette of Ice-T, his favorite rap singer, into his blaster and did a light workout of sit-ups and fingertip push-ups. Standing in front of the hall mirror, his t-shirt tied around his waist, he flexed his muscles, which were cut with shadows and shining with sweat. He thought, "My dad looked like this," and he smiled. He showered, brushed his teeth until the gums hurt, and at 2:30 left to meet Monica at Cornell Elementary. He spun his best basketball on the tip of his index finger. The basketball was a leather Rawlings that had been a gift from the principal at Franklin when Lincoln was voted Player of the Year and made All-City, the only Mexican-American player, smiling among the black and white dudes. As Lincoln walked up the street, Flacco followed. Lincoln turned around and said, "Stay," and Flacco limped back to the porch, ears sagging. Lincoln was nervous. He liked Monica. He thought she was cute, and he couldn't believe his good fortune when she told him that she could shoot hoop. "We'll play around the world, maybe horse, then finish up with one-on-one," he thought. His former girlfriend Vicky didn't care for basketball. One time he had tried to teach her, but she got a bloody nose when he passed the ball, lightly, he thought, and it slipped between her hands and smashed her in the face. He passed James's house and thought, "Nice folks." He walked up the street, kicking through leaves, feeling good. As he got closer to Cornell, his heart began to thump. His armpits were wet from nervousness. He stopped in front of the school, breathed in the winter air full of leaves and chimney smoke, and jumped the fence. He walked across the field toward the basketball courts. "Oh man, she's really there," he whispered to himself. In his heart, he had expected, almost hoped, that she wouldn't be there. He bounced his basketball onto the court. What would they talk about? He thought that maybe he could tell her about the venison he had grubbed at James's house. She, in turn, would ask, "What's venison?" He would tell her that it was deer meat and then brag that he often ate exotic meats. He laughed to himself. It sounded dumb. The only meats he really knew were steak and bologna. 9 years of hauling bologna sandwiches to school. "That's stupid," he muttered to himself. "We can't talk about venison. I'll just let my mouth go and see what happens." He started jogging slowly, the ball tucked under his arm, a smile on his face. "Hi, Lincoln," she said, figuring that was a good enough start. "Hi, Lincoln," Monica said. Her face was red from the cold and her hair mussed from the wind. She dribbled her ball, a synthetic Rawlings, he noticed, and she jumped, lean as a deer, and shot. The ball swirled off the rim. "Been here long?" "Not really." Lincoln did an easy layup. He dribbled, then came in, jumped 4 feet out, and snapped his fingers when it bricked. "Did you go to church today?" Monica asked. She pushed her hair from her face with the wave of her hand. Lincoln thought she was beautiful. He noticed her ring was not on her finger. "Yes, 8 o'clock mass," he lied. "I always go." "Which church?" Monica asked at the free throw line. She bounced the ball twice and took aim. "Which church?" Lincoln repeated. He dribbled his ball and said, "Well, the one near my house." Monica's shot swished the net. "Which one is that?" "I go to St. Jerome's." Lincoln tried to remember the church his mother went to. It was Saint something. He went in for a reverse layup. He turned to Monica and said, "St. J, that's it." "Never heard of a St. J." Lincoln felt foolish. He changed the subject as he approached the free throw line. "Guess what I had today?" "Beats me." She stopped dribbling and looked directly at Lincoln. Her face was red and happy. "Venison." "Venison? You mean deer?" she said, startled. She dribbled toward the boards and did a reverse layup just as Lincoln's ball reached the rim. The balls collided and flew off in opposite directions. As Monica ran after her ball, she asked, "How could you eat deer? They're so cute." "Yeah, they are," Lincoln said, and he almost added that they tasted good too, especially between slices of rye bread. "I went to a friend's house, James, and that's what they were eating. I couldn't tell them no." Lincoln decided to shut up about church and food and just play basketball. He said, "How about round the world?" "Okay, you go first." "No, please, you go first." "No, I said you go first." Lincoln dribbled the ball between his legs. He couldn't resist showing off and sank a shot off the backboard. He advanced to the next spot, which was so easy he could do it with his eyes closed. At the third spot, he missed and chanced. He made that bucket and moved to the free throw line, then to the top of the key, where he missed and said, "Ni modo." It was Monica's turn. The first bucket was a cinch. The next attempt she missed but cleared when she chanced. She moved to the third spot, then to the free throw line where she missed. Do you think I should try? She asked, dribbling the ball. Sure, Lincoln said. She chanced and missed again, sending her back to the start. Oh, darn. It's all your fault. My fault? Yeah, you told me to try. Lincoln decided to miss from the top of the key. He didn't want to get so far ahead that she would be out of competition. Monica started again and advanced to the top of the key where she missed. Lincoln, bouncing his balls, his mind now focused, thought, I better make my move. He shot and missed, and when he chanced, he missed the rim altogether. Smiling at Monica, he said, Oops. Monica made the shot from the top of the key, the toughest in around the world, and the next shots were easy. Then she had to return from the end to the start, and she won because an embarrassed Lincoln couldn't get past the top of the key. It began to sprinkle, shining the black asphalt court. Next they played horse, and because Lincoln was a better shooter, he won with only an HO. The rain forced Monica to pull up the hood of her sweatshirt, the front of which read Cal Berkeley. She shivered and said, Lincoln, the rain's ruining the game. I think I better go. Lincoln didn't want to stop. They had only been shooting and playing for half an hour, and he had waited all weekend for this moment. And now, rain? Let's play a quick game of 21, okay? Monica slapped dirt from her palms. Okay, but remember, I'm out of shape. Don't laugh at me if I'm awful. Lincoln, dribbling the ball between his legs, smiled. I won't. I'll go slow. You take out. He passed the ball to Monica and was relieved it didn't pass through her hands and smash her in the face. Monica took it out, dribbling left, then cutting right. She shot from 6 feet out but missed. Lincoln picked up the ball and circled to the top of the key before cutting slowly left and forcing a reverse layup. That's cool, Monica said. Lincoln was enjoying himself. His face was flushed from the heat of play. He liked feeling hot, feeling sweat on his brow. He dribbled to the top of the key and tossed the ball to Monica when she said, check. She passed it back, and he took 3 steps and shot. The ball came off the rim. Monica picked it up, cleared it, and worked her way under the basket. Lincoln's arms, outstretched, hovered above her. When he moved back a step to give her room to shoot, she jumped and caught her head square under his chin, sending him falling onto his back. Aye! He screamed. He lay on the asphalt with his leg folded under him. Monica dropped to her knees and asked worriedly, What happened? Lincoln sat up, blinking tears from his eyes. He looked at his palms, which were scraped red from the asphalt. I'm okay, I think. What's the score? Link, don't be crazy. You can't play anymore. You're hurt. And look at the rain. Lincoln looked skyward and got a face full of cold rain, which was now coming down hard. The court was entirely slick and shiny. Just let me rest for a sec. Monica rose to her feet, knees wet. Lincoln, I think you better go home and get some help. She helped him to his feet, which Lincoln liked. Her hand, cold as it was terrific to hold, and he told her so. Oh, Lincoln, you're silly, she said, blushing. Do you have a boyfriend? He could smell her shampoo and perfume. No, I don't, she said. Do you want one? She looked across the court. Her basketball had rolled to the monkey bars where 2 smaller kids were swinging. I've got to go. I'll see you Monday. You sure you'll be all right? Yeah, sure, Lincoln answered, rubbing his knee. Monica ran to get her basketball, but as she started to leave, her face wet from the rain, she said, I'll be there when we play Franklin. Who are you going to root for? That was a good question. Lincoln wondered which side he should take. He was once a homeboy from the Mission District, but now he was a homeboy living in the suburbs and eating venison with gabachos. When you get home, rest your foot. Monica waved and jumped the fence. He liked that as well. A girl who could jump fences. Lincoln hobbled home, the pain in his knee growing with each step. By the time he climbed his front steps, the knee was swollen and stiff. Flacco licked Lincoln's hands, barked, and followed him into the house. Roy and his mother sat in the living room, listening to music, glasses of wine in their hands. Lincoln, Roy said chummily. Ay, hijo, his mother said, looking up. They set their glasses down and smiled at Lincoln, who said, I messed up my knee. They asked in unison, What happened? I scrubbed at the courts. Lincoln sat down on the couch and rolled up his sweats. The knee was purple as an onion. Man, it hurts. Hurts more than when I messed up my toe. I probably won't get to play Franklin. Beatrice, you better get some ice, Roy said, his face full of worry. He needs to ice it down, then soak it. He turned to Lincoln and asked, How did you fall? Slipped. It's raining. Roy said, I didn't tell you earlier, but I played for Franklin. Lincoln, caught off guard, turned his attention from his knee to Roy. Roy seemed to be the furthest thing from a jock, even a junior high jock. You did? Yeah, back in 1970. I played forward. I wasn't first string, but I did get in there to throw my elbows around. In fact, I played against your old coach. What's his name? Coach Acetis? Yeah, him. Roy sipped from his glass thoughtfully and said, yeah, he was a real punk. Coach Acetis? Yeah, he played for Columbus, your new school. I remember a game when he got fouled by one of our guys and yelled spick. The whole school hissed him. We were playing on our turf, and we were mostly Mexican. I was the only white guy. Lincoln's mother returned to the living room with a washcloth bulging with ice cubes. She placed it on his knee and asked, what are you guys talking about? When they said basketball, she sat on the couch and picked up a magazine. Roy turned his attention back to Lincoln. Anyhow, one of our guys, Frankie Pineda, who was a real bad mouth, pushed Eusebius, and Eusebius was stupid enough to push back. That's when the fireworks happened. Roy adjusted the ice pack on Lincoln's knee. Frankie busted him in the face, and some guy even came from the bleachers to smack Eusebius. I think Frankie got kicked out of school for a week. Man, that's sorry. Did Eusebius cry? Oh, yeah, like a baby. Lincoln could understand better why Eusebius seemed to hate Franklin. He asked, Mom, can I have a glass of water? She got up and went to the kitchen. She was in a better mood than that morning when they had almost gone for each other's throats. Roy got up and followed her. Lincoln heard them laughing and began to think that maybe he'd been wrong about Roy. They returned to the living room, and Lincoln's mother handed him a glass of orange juice with ice. This is better for you. She peeked under the washcloth on his knee and made a face. She asked Roy, do you think we should take him to the doctor? No. Take him in tomorrow if it's still swollen. Roy sighed as he sank into their plush couch. I tore up my knee on a Sunday, too, playing football at Golden Gate Park. It went out on a cheap shot tackle by some beer belly from Daly City. Can't use it much. That's why I have this. He patted at his stomach, round as a kitty-sized basketball. I hope that don't happen to me. I hope my knee'll be okay. It looks bruised, maybe wretched a little. You'll be all right. Then he added, so when do you play Franklin? Tuesday, Lincoln responded. But with your knee like this, Coach may not put you in. Lincoln thought about it for a moment. Coach Acetis would probably be upset. Or maybe not. Lincoln went to soak himself in the tub. After dinner, he watched television and then started on his homework. He had math to do and a geography report on Egypt, where the longest river in the world flowed and flowed